Hey, this is Cavallo with your best dating and relationship advice. Today, I'm going to give you some kick-ass stuff. That's right, I just said that. We're going to talk about who pays on the first date. I'm going to give you the real answer and why. All right, so you're sitting there, you're feeling a little nervous as you're finishing dessert. You're waiting in dumbstruck silence for the inevitable. That's right, the check to arrive. You and your date eye that little card holder thingy they give you, and every time it's the same thing. What do? Do you let him pay? Do you offer to chip in and hope he doesn't take you up on it because you've got exactly $4 in your wallet and there isn't an ATM for miles? Do you try to time it so that you're in the bathroom when the check arrives? Yeah, we know about that one. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. And I know for a fact, if you've ever gone out to dinner on a date, you've probably gone crazy over the whole who pays the check dilemma. So what is it? Who pays? No, really, who should pay? It's so confusing now with these new gender roles, old standards, and you don't want to make a mistake, right? Well, it's actually a pretty simple question to answer, but first, I got to give you all the bad answers out there. Bad answer number one, whoever asks should pay. This answer assumes that we all work on the same internal rules about what men and women feel about this whole thing, and let's face it, we don't. A guy might feel a little relief if he doesn't have to pay the check for once, but ask yourself how you're going to feel about that. And bad answer number two is, well, just split the bill then. If you don't know what to do, split it. Well, this answer is usually given as the easy solution to the dilemma, and I have to admit, if you're really confused or you're sure you really don't like this guy in a romantic way, well then yeah, by all means go this way. But if you want the guy to invest in your relationship, and not just in money, in emotions, you got to start by getting him to put some skin in the game. And yes, paying for the meal is essential for a man to start investing in you. Okay, maybe I should have put a spoiler alert there, but we're getting into the answers soon. Bad answer number three, the woman should always pay. She shouldn't let herself be indebted to the patriarchy. Well, this answer is usually given as a way for the woman to avoid feeling like she's indebted to the man for the meal. He bought the dinner, now I have to put out. No, you don't have to put out. There's a very real fear out there that if you let the man pay, well, he's going to expect some sexual reciprocation. And that's not how it works. The best approach is the woman should never act like she expects the bill to be paid by the man. This kind of reeks of entitlement and, hang on to your butts, ladies, gold digging. A man wants you to be grateful, but not indebted. He wants his contribution recognized by you because all too often a guy will take a girl out, usually not one of the nicest girls, but every guy's run into one of these women who simply wants to use him for a free meal. All right, so what's the real answer here, Carlos? What do you do? Well, first of all, let me just give it to you in plain step-by-step language. Step one, let the check arrive and relax about it. Don't get anxious or weirded out. Just know that this is part of the whole dance of a date. When the check arrives, make sure you're talking to him about something already and you keep your attention on him, not on the fact that the bill arrived. Step number two is to pick up your purse or your wallet and put it in front of you or in your lap. But do it in such a way that he can notice that you actually did this, all right? If he doesn't tell you right there, no, that's okay, I got it, well then we go on to step number three. Step three is simply open your purse saying, can I help? He should give you a smile and say, thanks, I got it. To which you reply, thank you for dinner. There you go, with a nice grateful smile that reminds this guy that he made the right decision. He chose a grateful woman. This is the simple little dance that has been going on for centuries, but all of a sudden now we need to change it because everybody gets all outraged about something. I don't know. If he accepts your offer and asks you to chip in when you offer to do it, well then do that, but do it without an attitude or a grudge. Then when you get home, you can decide if the signals you saw pointed to him being a cheapskate or a simple misunderstanding, or maybe something else entirely. Remember, and this is very critical, if your standard is that you want a man who values the provider role and you want a contribution from him to invest in the relationship, but he won't give it, you got to let him know that you don't think it's a good fit for you two. Be upfront and clear with him so he knows where you stand, and then move on. Remember, talking to guys is not like talking to women. Guys don't take hints. We don't work with subtleties, and you're going to have to face the fact that if you just can't use your usual subtle communication style with him. You can only try him out for an evening or two on a date and evaluate what you see and then make a decision. You can always give him clear signals if he needs it later, but if you accept a man's generosity first without really making things clear, you're going to really confuse things later on. So let me restate these rules very clearly for you. Rule number 1, I firmly believe guys should pay for the first date. If he asks you out, definitely he pays. Rule number 2, you shouldn't pay for the date until at least date number 3, where you have a really good feel for where things are going, what kind of guy you've got on your hands, and then you can take him to coffee or something. Rule number 3, if he only pays half of the dinner, you're going to have to keep an eye on this relationship. He either isn't that into you or he's not a man of solid masculine upbringing, neither of which is very good. Of course, there's always the possibility that he's still really confused about this whole thing too. Rule number 4, if you decide during your date that you know you're not going to see this guy again, it's better to insist on paying your half. You see, these rules are not that difficult, and I think it makes perfect sense when you think about it. But not all rules about guys are really this easy. In fact, I want to give you some clarity around what men really want from women in relationships. You're going to get a ton more of that right here on this channel. First thing you gotta do is like this video. Absolutely do that. Number 2, make sure you subscribe so you get it every week. And number 3, leave me your polite comments below. Or go ahead, blast me, see if I care. It's always great to see what everybody has to say. This is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com. As always, live and love with passion.